Okay, we should be back. Make sure we're looking all right here. Welcome back. In our football program, episode 181. I'm your host, Clark Dupree. Major discussion today, free agency popping off. Late last week, we had a lot of teams have a great free agency. Teams like the Commanders. I think there's another couple teams. And my Bengals, a team that our franchise quarterback Joe Burrow said this offseason would be absolutely paramount. And this front office has not acted like it's been paramount. So that's going to be the main topic of discussion. Alabama basketball star, I can't remember his name, gets arrested with a pound of weed down there in Tuscaloosa. And March Madness is coming up. First four starting tomorrow night. All that on today's show. Appreciate you guys giving us a little bit of time to breathe here. I left town for Dallas, Texas on Thursday, so we didn't do a show Thursday. We did do a show Friday. And I feel like it's been 8 years since we've sat down and done this pod. I'm glad to be back. And let me just tell you, I'm full of sardines, I'm full of oysters, I'm full of eggs, I'm full of good food, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So it's good to be back. We had a little golf trip down there in Dallas, Texas. I never spent time in Dallas, Texas. It's a good place. The Fort Worth Stockyards are a great place to hang out and go down to some bars, take a little lady out if you are a local there. And, I got to pet a horse. That was cool. And looking forward to being back and getting a good week of training here today. But all these moves were going down, man. All of these moves were going down on Thursday, Friday, and it really seemed like last week, the tail end of last week, were the major times for these NFL teams that needed pieces to get in the mix and fix some of these needs. And we all know more than anybody that the Cincinnati Bengals, my Cincinnati Bengals, for now, had many, many needs on defense specifically. In fact, every single level of the Bengals defense was in need of some kind of improvement. Now, the Bengals have historically been an organization that prefers to defer to the draft. They don't make big splashes in free agency often. In fact, the biggest splash they've made in free agency in the last half decade, maybe decade, was signing Trey Hendrickson, who is a big fat trader. Contributed a lot. Helped us get to a Super Bowl, but now he's an op. So the Bengals, they don't traditionally make big splash in free agency, big signing in free agency. Why is that? Why? Oh, I wonder. It's got to be such an out-of-the-box answer. Hello to Alicia Har, 4142. It's got to be such an out-of-the-box answer. Why do the Bengals always choose to go to the draft instead of free agency? Because they can get a guy on a rookie contract. They don't have to spend as much money. One by one, goated one. Can you give me a shout out? Shout out to one by one, goated one. They get these guys on rookie contracts. These folks in the front office of the Bengals, they are more concerned with getting themselves a deal than getting good players that help them win. They're more concerned with winning arguments and being right than winning for a greater good, a collective good. I've said it before. they are stewards of the city of Cincinnati. The franchise is like the front porch view of the city. And I don't know if the front office understands that they have that responsibility. One by one, Goated one. He asked, can you give me a shout out for subscribe? Of course, I just shouted you out, brother. Now hit that subscribe button. So we're coming into the last week. Illegal tampering comes about. Happy 3/16, by the way. Free legal tampering happens. Free agency opens up. The league year comes to a conclusion or a beginning, however you look at it. And we're sitting here thinking, there's no way that the Bengals don't make any changes or sign a veteran in the linebacker room. There's no way, right? Thank you for the sub. One by one, Goated one. There's no way the Bengals don't sign a veteran linebacker to come in and mentor these younger rookies, right? Not happening. There are still free agents out there. There's Bobby Okereke or Okereke. There is there's a few other guys. And I'm trying to find the name of the guy. Okay. What's this cat's name? Caden Ellis. Let's just go ahead and read. Let's just go ahead and read this here. So the Bengals linebacker coach. This is a big concern with Cincinnati Bengals fans right now, the disregard for the linebacker position. It was by far the worst position group in 2025. And other than some pre-training camp, late summer signings, the three moves that the Bengals made are going to be the moves they make. You answered to the pass rush, rising star or ascending player, Boye Mafe. Brian Cook, you addressed the safety room. That was one. I mean, every unit, it seemed like on the Bengals defense in 2025 was the worst unit. You signed Brian Cook. And then Thursday afternoon, you sign defensive tackle, 3 technique, 5 technique, Jonathan Allen. That's 3 starters you sign. Bare minimum, I think a lot of us would have liked to have seen 5 starters signed. Veterans, established players, free agents. That didn't happen. And so the disregard for linebacker, we teased this a little bit last week. Barrett Carter, Demetrius Knight, the 2 inside backers for Cincinnati. Both rookies last year. And somehow the Bengals organization was able to justify or try to justify that they're young rookies. They haven't gotten a chance to figure it out yet. They don't understand their assignments. That was confirmed by the way that their heads were spinning with their assignments. The missed tackles, we're just going to ignore that. And we believe in these guys. We believe in these guys. I don't mind that. When the belief is delusional, or you're hanging on by a thread because you want to be proven right, because that's what we seem to be worried about, as opposed to winning and pivoting or realizing you're wrong and pivoting. No, we're going to run it back with the two of the worst linebackers in all of football last year. You got linebacker coach Mike Hodges, who's very high on these guys. Didn't make excuses, but both essentially admitted their heads were spinning until the latter portion of the year. Hodges plotted an aggressive offseason program for the two to take significant steps to playing with more confidence and understanding in 2026. They're not. This is what Hodges said, linebackers coach for the Bengals. They're not throwaways, as some people want to say. They're far from that. This organization is going to be proud of this room going forward. I really believe that. I don't. And the fact that people in the organization are saying that we're going to be proud going forward makes me think that we're not going to be proud going forward. It's all politics in the NFL. You can't, the thing that sucks about the NFL these days is you can't really trust players' answers, coaches' answers, definitely not executive answers or front office answers anymore in the NFL. It's become too PC. It's become too watered down. It's become not politically incorrect enough to where guys feel like they can't express what's truly going on, because then they'll ruffle feathers of the big bad, slightly larger noses than average executives that run the whole league. So when you ask a coach or an executive, particularly in the NFL, how are things going? Where do you see the direction of this position group going? Oh, it's great. I think it's going to be great. And, we're all really inspired and really excited to move forward in the next chapter of, our time here. And we really feel like we're putting in the work to leave behind an extended legacy that will last for forever and ever and ever, because we're working so hard and we have the right attitude. And you see how easy it is to just say nothing with like the media training, coach speak. See how easy it is to say nothing? I watched Arkansas win an SEC championship in basketball yesterday. And I watched Coach Cal, the coach of the Razorbacks, talking to the media after the game. And one thing that really refreshes me about Coach Cal, especially in the last couple of years, is that he doesn't seem filtered. If he is filtering himself, he does a great job sounding like he's not filtered. And it makes him really interesting to listen to. When NFL players, NFL executives, NFL coaches speak on anything, especially this time of the year, it's all bullshit, man. You can't trust any of that because it's all subjective, media trained crap. I'd be so much more inclined to pay attention to these things if the NFL was more like the UFC, where if you ask a coach in Las Vegas or somebody in Cincy or God, I love the fact that I'm throwing the Bengals names in with people with teams like Las Vegas and Tennessee and Arizona. But that's the territory Cincinnati's in as an organization. It's embarrassing, especially given who you have at quarterback, who you have in your receiver room. Championship windows now for Cincinnati. And time again, they prove to us that they're not serious about winning. They're not competitive people. They are collect the checks, be right about everything, protect your ego at all costs, and hunker down and shield yourself from all types of accountability. That's the kind of people the Bengals ownership group is. And it's really starting to show. A lot of fans are completely losing faith. A lot of fans think that Joe Burrow is going to be asking out before the start of the 2028 season. One season out. And I wouldn't blame Joe. I would follow Joe wherever he went. And I believe he is too competitive for the Bengals front office. Or picture this, even worse. I know it's the off season, so let's give the guy a little bit of grace, but I keep seeing TMZ pictures of Burrow out and about in Los Angeles and hot girls sitting on the floor at Lakers games, all this stuff. And look, if I'm in his position in the off season, enjoy the fruits of your labor, brother. I'm not saying anything about Burrow, but just for speculation's sake, just for clip farming's sake, just for doing a football podcast's sake, what a crazy world that would be if the Bengals completely eroded Joe Burrow's will in the NFL. Laura Luce Maria in the chat here on YouTube. Say something. Iranian people are supporting Israel, and Iranian people want to eliminate Islam from Iran. Yeah, that's interesting. I was talking to somebody about what's going on, and I really have to be careful talking about the country with a white and blue flag with a star on it, because I'm still trying to grow this channel, and I don't want it to be deactivated before it even starts. But I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of opinions on what's going on out there. But I was talking to somebody, just to derail for a minute, guys. I was talking to somebody about the conflict in Iran, and there's apparently two factions of people in Iran. One faction is the faction of people who want the Iranian government, the Ayatollah or whatever, to be uprooted, the current regime to be uprooted. There's, people say, like, free the people of Iran from the current regime. And from what I understand, people over there who want the regime toppled, who want Israel and the U.S. to bomb Iran and et cetera, are the folks that want to be able to go to sex parties and let all other forms of degeneracy permeate through Iran. They want freedom. They want freedom, and whether it's women asking for freedom to wear what they want, be as promiscuous as they want, or people want to go and gamble as much as they want, or drink alcohol and get wasted as much as they want. People say all the time, they say, I want freedom to do these things, freedom. And the most ironic thing about all of it is that, like, you're just enslaving yourself in the name of freedom with those things. So there's a faction of people in Iran that want the regime toppled, and they want freedom. They want freedom, and they're being oppressed. Just kind of like the same spiel that women in the U.S. have been giving. It's all bullshit. And then there's another faction of people in Iran. This is just what I've understood from speaking to Middle Eastern people, is like there's another faction of people in Iran who are like, no, like we like it here, we don't mind it here, we're big boys, we can put our own pants on, and we don't need help from anybody taking out our own regime. We can handle our regime no matter what. And so I think that's kind of interesting. We're talking about the Bengals. Let's read the chat here. Make sure we're up to speed with the chat. It says, Harry in India, it's 5:10 a.m. We got somebody from India in here. Ayush Kushwaha. Who else? One by one, goated one keeps asking me if I poop. Mia Heath. Interesting. Virtual hug. I noticed people are being... I don't think anybody's being mean to me. She said, I noticed people are being mean to you. And we might want to continue this discussion tomorrow. I just realized we're already 28 minutes in. We'll talk more about the Bengals. We got plenty of time to talk about that shit show. But the fact they haven't addressed the linebacker room, adding a veteran, is absolutely unbelievable. And then the other way you could look at it is, well, they're probably drafting another linebacker, and then that's just one more guy that Demetrius Knight and Barrett Carter, who don't have it figured out for themselves, would have to help. NCAA tournament, you got your one seeds. You got Duke, Arizona, Florida, and Michigan. Arizona and Duke already know who they're going to play. Florida and Michigan will wait for the result of the first four games, which will commence tomorrow, I believe. You got two 16 seeds squaring off, and two pairs of 16 seeds squaring off, and you got two pairs of 11 seeds squaring off. Miami of Ohio, notably, one of those 11 seeds in there that are going to have to play an extra game. Miami of Ohio just lost their first game of the year in the MAC tournament. It was either the maybe it was the quarterfinal. I don't know. I can't remember. But Miami of Ohio was completely undefeated until they lost in the MAC tournament sometime last week. Historic team for the history of that program. Two seeds, you got Houston, you got Iowa State, you got Purdue, and you got UConn. Listen, there's conversation, and the Final Four's in Indy this year. That's cool. There's conversation going around right now about expanding the NCAA tournament. Mike Krzyzewski went on Pat McAfee's show today to talk about it. Hello to Tay Testcat Tay 10, 1994. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, by the way, if you haven't already. We got daily football content coming your way on YouTube, Kick, Twitch. Most important is to subscribe on YouTube, where we are live here every single weekday doing our podcast, daily shorts, Madden streams every now and then, and jiu-jitsu vlogs as well, jiu-jitsu competition vlogs, all on the channel. I just realized that Eastern, Central Time, Pacific Time, they all changed on March 8th. I'm 8 days late to realizing that time has changed. I'm in Arizona where the time doesn't change, so I got to figure out what time our show's going live. We normally go live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, but now that's 7 or 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So appreciate you guys rocking with us there, but make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And now I'm frozen. I do have to go in a second. We're about 24 minutes in. That's about how long I plan to go today. I should have let you guys know that at the start, but albeit didn't do that. How many SEC teams we got in the NCAA tournament. You got Kentucky 1, Tennessee 2, Bama 3. And we didn't even talk about what happened with Alabama basketball today yet. 4, Georgia. We'll talk about that here in a little bit because there will definitely be more developments in that case. 5, Arkansas. You got who else from the SEC do you have in the tournament? 6, Florida. 7, Vandy. 8, Texas A&M. Tay, Test Cat, Tay 10. Can I say my name? I don't know how you would say it in the chat. Yeah, we'll talk more about Bengals free agency tomorrow, guys. And we'll talk more about what's that Bama kid's name that got caught with a pound of weed here. What's his name? I'm not sure I can't remember. Aiden Holloway. We'll talk more about Aiden Holloway tomorrow. But for now, I just need you guys to do one thing. I need you to hit that subscribe button. I need you to double tap that screen. And I need you guys to keep popping in this podcast, getting it hype, getting rowdy in the chat, giving your boy things to wax lyrical on. And regardless if that happens or not, we're going to keep showing up. So you're going to keep seeing us, probably whether you like it or not, as we grow. So we'd love for you guys to get in and be a part of the journey, be a part of what we got going on here. That's all I got today. I got to go to some American Jiu-Jitsu practice. And it's the start of the week. It's something I don't really feel like doing right now, but it doesn't matter. But I hope at the end of this show that you feel like subscribing, because that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to grow this channel and spread the good word. Talk a little ball. See if we can make a positive impact out there in the world. That's all we care about doing at the end of the day, man. So hit the subscribe button. Become a part of the tribe. Become a part of the journey to the top echelon of football and other things podcasts. We love doing this, and we'll keep doing it regardless of if you subscribe or not, but it'd be really nice if you did. Okay? Now I got to go. I'm going to get my voodoo floss. I'm going to go get warm and get a little push here with the heart rate. Love you guys. We'll holler at you tomorrow around this time.